All right, I'm going to cut right to the chase here. The new Indiana Jones movie is critical of capitalism.
You stole it.
Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
Who in the modern age is critical of capitalism?
We have been conditioned, just that dystopian capitalist conditioning, that you don't deserve to live if you make minimum wage.
Marxists. So we have here an Indiana Jones film that is pro-Marxist. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, first of all, it's not funny. Are you going to make a joke at the expense of capitalism? At least make it funny. I don't think there's even Marxists watching that going, oh, that's funny.
It's called capitalism.
I mean, what are they even talking about? Stealing is capitalism? That's what capitalism? What the hell are you talking? You clearly don't know how economic systems work. Capitalism is basically just an advanced version of the barter system. It's the natural exchange of goods. If you have a talent or if you have a product that everybody wants, people are going to give you their chickens for them, for what you have got, or goats, or maybe a small pig, whatever it is that they have to barter with, they're going to give you. Now, in a capitalist system, we have money. So people want the product that you have, people want the service you have, they're going to give you money. Supply and demand. This is how capitalism works. And it has drawn more people out of poverty than any other kind of economic system. Because what economic system is better? Communism has destroyed the lives of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, and in fact, led to the deaths of hundreds of millions of people all over the world. Capitalism is the only system in which you can be born poor and rise out of your station. So why is it that we have these rich a-holes, like the people over at Disney? And let me just tell you this. Everybody involved in that production, except for maybe like the PAs, production assistants, and like the background actors, the extras, everybody else on that production is pretty well-to-do. They're either upper middle class or rich. Everybody who's starring in this movie is rich. Everybody who's producing this movie is rich. The director's rich. Everybody over at Disney's rich. These are all rich a-holes. And these guys all got rich through capitalism. And now these guys are lecturing us on how capitalism is theft? Give me a break. Let me just interject this, by the way, right? The original movies, the original Indiana Jones film, especially Raiders and especially Last Crusade, but there's some awesome stuff in Temple. I love these movies. I mean, I just love these movies. They are so dang good. They're so much fun. I had to rewatch Raiders. I got to rewatch Raiders for a show that I do with Sebastian Gorka called Making Movies Great Again. It's on Salem Radio Network. You can catch it on Rumble. It's a good show. And I reviewed Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I reviewed this movie, and rewatching it, I'm just like, man, they really knew how to make movies back then. I'm standing up, and I'm, swinging, and I'm rooting for Indy, and I want to be Indiana Jones again. I'm back to being a little kid, and I want to be Indiana Jones, and I'm just loving every second of this movie. Yeah, I just love these movies. I just love them. And they're such a big part of my childhood, and they're such a big part of so many people's childhoods.
No ticket.
They have been woven into the fabric of America, and now you're coming in and you're defiling them. And so that's why we're so passionate about this. That's why we're so angry. All right. I digress. What was I saying before? Let's get back to that. Almost every TV show and movie in Hollywood is woke. And I just recorded another video for The Mandalorian, which I'm going to post tomorrow. And in that video, I explained that The Mandalorian was basically good, season 1, season 2, because it was not woke. And I used the example of Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was not as good of a movie as the original Top Gun. It was a good movie, but it wasn't as good as the original. But it was super popular. Why? Because it was not woke. It stood out. It wasn't woke. People went, oh, that's cool. That's a good movie. It's not woke. There's a lot of movies that I've seen recently that I wouldn't say are particularly good. A lot of TV shows that I would say aren't particularly good. But because they're perceived as not woke, they're super popular. The show Yellowstone, my father loves that show. I watched a few episodes. I said, this is actually pretty woke. But people don't think that it's woke. People don't perceive it as woke. Whatever the woke messaging is, it's not getting through. So people absolutely love it. Anything not woke is an instant hit. If there's any degree of quality to it, if there are any stars attached, if there is quality acting, quality cinematography, you have a hit on your hands. Just buy scripts that are not woke. And Mandalorian proved that yet again. And so what happened in season 3? They went woke, and it's terrible and everybody hates it. And look what's going on with Indiana Jones now. The truth is, I don't really hate this trailer. I watched the trailer and I said, you know what? If I wasn't already biased against this film because of all the news that I've heard about this new movie, I would think, well, this might be a good film. I'm going to give it a shot, you know? But because I kind of know, I've heard a lot about what this film's going to be, I know it's going to be super woke, and I already hate it. And look, maybe Disney will prove me wrong, but the reality is this is a huge opportunity, even in a moment like this, right? Like, let's say you do make this female character that's supposed to take over and become the new Indiana Jones, barf. Let's say you make this female character super woke in the show. I actually don't mind that, and I'll tell you why. Because the way you write this new Indiana Jones movie with a super woke female character is you make Indy a curmudgeony old conservative. That's how you do it, right? She says, that's called capitalism. And he's like, obviously this chick doesn't understand what communism is, right? Something like that. Some kind of old-timey, conservative-sounding joke at her expense. And what you do in this movie is you have her present all these kind of like woke ideas, right? Maybe like progressive ideas, left-wing ideas, theories about how to move forward in their adventure. And at every turn, Indiana Jones goes, don't be an idiot, you know? And it turns out that Indiana Jones's hardcore, old-fashioned conservative values prove indispensable and reasonable. Sort of like the moment in which, in Raiders, the guy pulls out the swords and he does all this fancy sword work, and Indiana Jones just pulls out his gun and, you know, moves on. Practical strategies for moving forward with the adventure, you know? She wants to do this fancy intellectual stuff, this left-wing garbage, and he's just like, no. She's got all these crazy theories, but Indy knows what's up because he's an old conservative guy. That's how you write this movie. If you want to have this woke chick in it, that's how you do it. Every single Indiana Jones fan would love that. They'd find it funny. They'd find it charming. In the end, the girl recognizes that, all right, maybe this old Indiana Jones guy, maybe he's not so bad, you know, after he saves her life 6 times or whatever it is, right? So that's how you do this movie. We all know that's not what this movie is, but maybe it is. Maybe Disney's going to shock me. And look, they still got time. I think they're still doing reshoots still, right? Throw in some scenes where Indiana Jones makes fun of, you know, progressive, pansy, leftist ideas and make him right. Because that's what American audiences want to see. In fact, that's what everyone wants to see. That movie will sell well in Russia. That movie will sell well in India. That movie will sell well in China. Everywhere that you want to sell Indiana Jones, the idea of a curmudgeony old conservative Indiana Jones, that movie is going to do well in every single market in the world. But what I think they're going to produce, not so much. All right, well, that's it for me. Sorry if this video seemed a little bit meandering. I'm making this stuff up as I go along. Good night.